As we're wrapping up the chapter here, we just have two short sections. Section 5 is on cell specialization. So we've talked a lot about cell structure, but when we look at cell specialization, it's exactly what it sounds like. As cells grow and develop, they become specialized to a unique task or a unique function. And so this is kind of the basis for how multicellular organisms like ourselves are able to be so efficient at what they do. So each individual cell is responsible for a job. Some of them might be responsible for movement, like muscle cells. Others might be responsible for, response, if we're talking about nerve cells. So there's all kinds of specialization that occurs when cells grow and divide. And so that allows multicellular organisms to operate efficiently. As we move on to section 6, we're looking at different levels of organization that we have in living things. So we said at the very beginning of this chapter that the cell theory has 3 parts. And one of those parts is that all living things are made up of cells. And also that cells are the basic unit of structure and function in living things. So when we're looking at that second key part, that's really important for us to understand how our cells work together to form these different levels. So cells will actually work together to form structures called tissues. And when we're looking at tissues in the human body, there are different types. If we're looking at tissues in plants, there are also different types there. So they don't really cross over too much. Each one is specific to its own individual group of organisms. But regardless, those cells are working together to form these tissues. And so most animals, you can see their muscle tissue, epithelial tissue, nerve tissue, and connective tissue. And so these are essentially cells that are performing a similar function. And more than one cell can work together to form what is called an organ. Now, you've all heard of organs. You know, if we're thinking of the lungs or the stomach, small intestine, spleen, the heart, more than one type of tissue can form that. So connective tissue and muscle tissue could form the heart. Connective tissue and nerve tissue might form a different organ. But regardless, there are different types of tissues working together to form that organ. And then organs work together to form an organ system. So looking at that organ system, we're able to see how that affects these different multicellular organisms and how it allows it to come together as an entire organism. So you can see there are some examples of organ systems that I listed in humans. So if we're looking at this as a breakdown, we can start all the way down at the atomic level. This is more chemistry down here. But here we have the organelle level. So here's our nucleus. Let me get my laser pointer here. Here's our nucleus. And then in this example, each one of these represents cardiac muscle cells. So when those cells come together, they form cardiac muscle tissue. So now we have multiple cells that are working together. Well, now multiple tissues come together to form the heart, which is our organ level. And if we include the heart and the veins and the arteries that extend out, that is the organ system level, which in that example is the circulatory system. So we have multiple systems that are coming together to allow these zebras in this example to be able to function. So when we're talking about levels of organization in biology, we're referring to the cell being the basic unit and it just building from there.